Now, I had one of the most difficult decisions to make in this one where I was really put into the blender, but I couldn't fold it. And we're going to get to that situation a little bit later on, but we got some other good stuff to go over today. We're actually going to start things off here with the Jack Queen suited in the second hand, where I put in a pretty big bluff. Hope you guys are going to enjoy this spot right here. But with that said, I also want to say if you guys are not in our community yet, I don't know why you're not in it. That's going to be in the pinned comment. You could talk with me. There's some other high-level members, but a lot of good stuff in there, so definitely check it out. Also, if you could tap the like as we're making our way through in this, and let's get right into it. So, yeah, so we basically have nothing here. However, we do have a lot of cards that could help on the turn and river, which it didn't. Okay, the flush was dead. The straight was dead. The pot was actually building here, and the only way I could really take this one down was to bluff at it. So that's what I did. Bluffing here, it's going to be, I mean, it's a 50-50, you know what I'm saying? But I still went for it because it was really the only thing we could do. I think if I just check this and try to go to showdown, I don't see how it's going to do anything for us. The play worked, so, you know, but that was a 50-50. I was leaning towards, I have no idea, but, you know, sometimes you just got to do it, man. You just got to go for it. You're not going to get it right every time, but we went for it there and it worked out. All right. Anyways, on to the next one here. We had an ace deuce suited. You know, I play all these ace suited type hands. It doesn't really matter what it is. Turn card was pretty good. Gives us a straight draw to the 3, but we did a 2 pair here. I was actually okay just going to showdown with this because I had no idea what this guy had. Now, he didn't have anything. If I would have raised there, he was going to fold anyways. So that was going to play out how it was going to play out. And, you know, it is what it is. But yeah, kind of just starting things off here, you know, pretty good. We had the bluff, we had the ace deuce, and we're just going to, you know, kind of tread water for a little bit here. Also, I will say this, man, if you guys want to maybe go grab some coffee, Gatorade, bottled water, whatever, because we're going to, like I said, go over some different spots here. I like to give my insight on how, kind of what I'm thinking when I'm doing this too. Like if I'm going to make a play on somebody, whether I have it or not, there is a lot of thought that goes into it. You know, obviously I don't get it right every time. I think the last video I posted, we took a pretty bad one. But you know, that's how it is, man. You have your ups and downs. You know, you're not going to win every time. It's just variance is a part of this, but you're also just, your bluffs aren't going to work, or sometimes you're just going to take a cooler loss. It's just how it goes. You know what I'm saying? Keep it all in perspective, and I'm just trying to, you know, keep it 100 with you guys. So anyways, all right, ace-9 offsuit. Didn't want to play this, which is totally fine. I think if it was suited, I would have played it, but you know, anyways, player 4 against player 3. All right, let's take a look at the tape. Player 3 is doing good here. Player 5 is up a little bit, so everybody else is kind of where they're at. And then you got us sitting in the 6th position. All right, player 4 took that one down. The aggression worked out for him. All right, king 3 offsuit. This is just a fold. If it was suited, I'd make a call here, but, you know, if you look at a chart, you don't want to call this, even if you're in the big blind or the small, okay? It's just let it go, you know, move on, right? Now, player 1 doesn't have a whole lot left. I think this is just going to be like a jam situation here with these two guys, player 2 and 1, I'm pretty sure. He called. All right, 10 out there, not a whole lot. I'd expect player 2 to continue here, even if he has like ace-king or something. I think player 1's going to go all in. Player 2 is going to call. I mean, you might as well, but he had him dominated anyways. Tough spot for player 1. I mean, a top pair with the ace kicker, but pocket jacks it held, and yeah, see you later, player 1, RIP. It was a tough one. Player 1 had outs, but pocket jacks took it down. Okay. Here we go, 10-8 off, folding this. I said the other day, man, 10-8 when it's suited, it's like one of my favorite hands to play. 10-8 suited, I just feel like I always do well with it. I know it's weird, but it's just kind of true. All right, we're going to open here with the king-queen offsuit. Back over to player 4. All right, no one wanted to call there. Totally fine. I folded that. 10-9 offsuit, opening from first or second to act. Usually it's just a fold. Now, if we were later in the hand, like on the button or something, then yeah, you could open with it if everybody folds. But if it was suited, of course I'm gonna play. But all right, player 4 raised it. Back over to player 2. What's it gonna be here? Ooh, look at this. We got a re-raise to the 120 piece. Kind of interesting. I feel like player 4 has got a pretty strong hand too. But he let it go. All right, we move on. Ace 4 offsuit. But you guys are definitely going to want to stick around because I'll tell you what, the situation that we're to get into in this, it was not easy. It was not easy. And I'm curious too what some of you would have done in my spot. All right, pocket threes. Let's see if we can get a 3 here. I'll take a 3. All right, player 4 raised it. I decided to call here because we're so deep in this. And of course, we didn't get it. The 2 came out there. We got no 3. This is also going to be impossible to continue because it's very likely somebody's got an ace here. Or a pocket pair, like an over pair. All right, turn card to jack. Our straight's dead. A set here could be no good. Ooh, look at that. Wow, okay. Let's see what these guys got. Ooh, player 4. A part of me thinks player 4 had it there, but maybe not so big on the sizing. You know what I'm saying? He might have got called down there. Now, this hand, super frustrating. We've got 7-8 offsuit. I decided to play it just because it wasn't going to be a whole lot more to play it. So I figured why not. And this is another on the fence. Like, you could just fold it for sure, but you're already in the big blind, so you might as well do it. Plus, player 5 came in, so I felt I was getting the 2-for-1 special here. And look at this flop. 2 pair. Except so many draws out there. Now, we are blocking clubs, so club draws could be no good here. Problem is, if somebody's got like, a jack or a 10, there's a lot of ways they can get there. So I decided to play this a little bit defensive, like cautiously, because there's just so many bad turn cards. And let's see what happened here. And that was fine. The turn card was fine right there, but I'm still playing defense here. We're still blocking the club draw. Still worried about a lot of ways player 3 could get there on the river, but we're not going anywhere, right? We're just going to call here. Or did I? It's pretty big sizing. To me too, I think I was thinking this through. I actually ended up, I think, folding it. And the reason is it felt like, I want to say I folded it. Just bear with me here. It's funny, I just played this and I can't remember. Yeah, I folded it. Let's see what the river card would have been. River card was an ace. I don't know. I don't know if that was the right play right there. Something was telling me that he had a monster, like a set. You know what I'm saying? I just don't know if you're going to continue there with like an overpair with that sizing. Something just seemed off to me. So who knows? Maybe I got it right. Maybe I got it wrong. We're never going to know, but it's all good because we're still going to do our thing here. And we still have a big one coming up. All right, 5-7 suited, played it. This is a much more playable hand. We hit second pair here. Pretty good. We can still hit a lot of 2 pairs here. We can hit trips on the turn. We got runner cards for straights. So this is definitely a spot where we're not going anywhere. And I think he's going to just check it. So we get to see a turn card here for nothing, which is nice. I don't think an 8's really changing anything. If he would have continued, I would have called. Going up good to showdown here, I feel like we probably have the best hand at this point, and player 4 is going to just check it down and give up, probably with like an ace high or king high type of hand. Okay, and yeah, still doing our thing here. All right, so we had a 5-6 suited. Getting some suited hands, which is kind of nice. All right. Paired the five. Another spot where we're getting like bottom pairs, but or close to. Or this is bottom pair. But we do have like runner cards here. We've got some backdoor hearts, runner straights. So what I'm getting at here is we got a piece of this. Turn card was a seven, not the ideal card, but it is a heart. If he continues here, we could put this guy in a lot of, queens type of ace queen, king queen type hand. I could see. I don't think he's going to be very scared that we have the seven, so I would expect him to continue here, and then we're kind of like, do we want to continue? Now, he kept it small enough where we could. The problem with this is it feels like he's got a queen. The spades missed. We basically went check right there. I don't know if I would have put in some type of raise there if he would have called or not. Which brings us to the hand that you guys have been kind of waiting for. So we had a 6-5 suited here, another 6-5, 5-6, 6-5 suited. This time it's going to be diamonds, and I honestly didn't know what to do here. And comment below on maybe what you would have done. Up to this point, I think I've been playing pretty good. Maybe a little bit too snug in this one, but it is what it is. And here we go. Clearly making the call here. Suited. Okay, and not a bad flop at all. So we could hit a 4 for the nut straight. We've got the diamonds. And the thing about having diamonds here, it's going to make it a lot less likely that your opponent also has diamonds. Now, you still run into it sometimes. I mean, the guy could easily be holding a hand like ace queen of diamonds, ace king of diamonds. It's possible. But I decided to kick this up a little bit. I just feel like we have so many ways we can get there. Even though I could have just called this, I wanted to start building a little bit. All right, so he called and we got there. And if you look at this, we also have a straight flush draw to the 7 of diamonds. But we've got the flush. How can we really go anywhere at this point? I'm expecting player 2 to maybe just check this over, you know what I mean? So that's kind of what I'm expecting. But he went for a small sizing. He went a 30 piece. I just called. River card was a blank, so the board didn't pair. We missed our straight flush draw. I know, how sad is that? But we still have the 6 high flush, which is super low. It's just like, and what do we do here? No idea what to do here. So kind of get ready for the spot we're about to be in. He just jammed. Now, typically you don't do this unless you have it, right? Sometimes you'll get a bluff in there, but I mean, he's basically just saying like he's got a flush. I don't know how to get away from this. I'm going to let the clock run down all the way. It just is so tough because we have a 6 high flush, It's so low, you know what I mean? But how can we get away? Now, we made a discipline lay down earlier with that 7-8 offsuit. Now we're like, I had to put the timer on this because I really didn't know what to do. But I think I was always leaning towards calling, I couldn't let it go. If we take the L here, we take the L. It is what it is. But, at the end of the day, we've got a flush, But I still had to think this through. Normally when you see a jam like this, it's usually never a bluff, But it is every once in a while. Most of the time it's not. I mean, Jack 10 got there, I guess. Can't really see it. It just feels like, this feels like he's got it, or it's just a complete bluff. That's all this feels like to me. And we are going to end up making the call, but you could see how I was just in the blender on this, man. Like, I really let it run down far, But here we go. All right, so he ended up bluffing it. He did have a diamond, and the reason he made that bluff was because he had one of the diamonds, so he wasn't putting us on the flush. Unfortunately for him, it didn't work out. And yeah, I mean, we ended up taking down a massive one right there. With that said, though, still got a couple more hands going on here, but I'm going to reiterate this one more time. You guys need to get in the community. It's going to be in the pinned comment. A lot of good stuff in it, man. A lot of good stuff. And I'll tell you what, that's what it is. Okay, if you made it basically to close to the end here, I definitely appreciate it. Subscribe if you haven't, and we'll see you in the next one.